Hello! My name is Alice and today I'm going to be showing you everything that is in the August 2021 Paletteful Premiere Pack. My mailman was a little rude with my box, so I'm just going to be showing you all of these individually today, but these are all of the products that you're going to get in the box, and I'm going to go through them one by one and show you everything. This is going to be the mixed media box, and I am really excited to play around with all of these different supplies. So the first thing I'm going to show you are the surfaces. We have this Art Alternatives MDF panel, which is 8 by 10. And I really like the fact that this has like a little hanger behind it so you can actually hang it up. I appreciate that. The next thing we have is some paper. This is by Stonehenge White. And this is a thick Stonehenge white paper, 15 sheets, 250 GSM, 9 by 12 inches. It's also 100% cotton. The next thing in here is this Linseed Oil by Daniel Smith. Like I said, unfortunately, my mailman was a little rude and a hole was actually poked in the bottle itself. So it's a little oily, but this is linseed oil. So this linseed oil is going to help us work with the rest of the products and increase the flow of those products and just create some really cool textural effects. Now we do also have some oil pastels here. These are by Faber Castell. Premium quality, smooth, rich colors for easy blending, and it comes in this super cute plastic storage case. So these are all of the different colors. It looks like there's 12 colors ranging from white to black. This is a really great selection. I'm excited about how these look. We can definitely blend these with that linseed oil. And there's a lot of different things that you can do with oil pastel, so I'm really excited to play around with these. So these are by Crandash. This is a Neo Color 3-pack, and these are fluorescent colors, which, oh, I'm so excited about. I love like neons. I've been really into using fluorescents right now in my art, so that makes me really, really happy. These are wax pastels. They're water resistant and they have superior covering power, and you can draw on any type of material with them, such as paper, cardboard, glass, wood, even leather, fabric, or stone. The next thing in these boxes are these China markers. There are 3 of them and they are by Sharpie. So China markers are a soft crayon-like pencil and they're designed to mark on porous and non-porous surfaces. And as it wears down, you just like peel it with this little string and it peels so you don't sharpen it. So these are going to be great to draw on top of the oil pastels and they won't blend with the linseed oil. So we can use these for more sharp and finer details. We also have this Marabou Art Spray. This is an acrylic art spray for mixed media. It's in this fun kind of orangey red color. And this is a brightly colored water-based acrylic spray. And it's for light porous surfaces like canvas, paper, or wood, which we have some of that MDF. So this will be interesting. I've never played around with any kind of art spray before. And then finally in this pack, we have a few different tools. So we have 2 blending stumps by Art Alternatives. These are going to be great for helping us blend out those oil pastels in a different way. And then we also have this, which is a sandpaper block, also from Art Alternatives. This is really cool. This we can use for sharpening those oil pastels and getting a nice point on them. And then finally, we have a brush from Princeton Select. This is a number 6 flat shader, and it's gonna be great for using with that linseed oil to blend out those oil pastels. Okay, so this is everything that you're gonna get in the 2021 Paletteful Premiere Pack for August. I am really excited to play around with all these different mixed media items and especially work on the MDF and just see what art we can make. So let's jump right into it. So as always, the first thing that I'm going to do is swatch the supplies so I can see what they look like, what the consistency is like, how the colors perform, all of that good stuff. So I swatched all of the different supplies. I did actually use the linseed oil to blend out these oil pastels, but for some reason I didn't catch that on camera. So the first thing that I'm going to do is on the paper, and I'm going to dampen that paper with a spray, and then as you saw, I'm going to spray the Marabou Art Spray on top of it. And the really fun thing about this was it was a pigment spray, so it was really easy to create these beautiful blooms that served as kind of the base to create these really loose flowers on top. And because it was the acrylic, I could work really easily on top of it. I didn't have to worry about smudging it when I was blending the flowers or anything like that. So it was really great way to kind of start out the piece. And then as you saw, I really just started building on top with the Faber Castell oil pastels. These were really fun to use. I really enjoyed using them. I basically just layered them on the paper, like I would layer them on top of one another, and then I went and used the linseed oil and just kind of blended that out. And I really enjoyed that technique. Then I would kind of build on top of that a little bit more. As you can see, you really can keep building things up and you can create some really beautiful blended effects by using the linseed oil and then layering again on top. So I just kind of built it up piece by piece, layer by layer, and certain layers towards the top I blended a little bit less to retain some of the crispness versus like the first layers where I really wanted them to be really watercolor like. I think it created a really nice contrast and layering effect as you go from the really blended acrylic spray blooms in the background to more of the watercolor oil pastel effect to then using the China markers on the very top to create some of those finer and more crisp lines in the leaves. So I think this one came out really cute and it was a good way to get to know the supplies and very free flowing, and I enjoyed it. The next piece that I worked on was on the wood panel, and I was really, really excited to work on the wood panel because I love working on wood panels. I didn't bother to gesso or do anything to it before I started. I just decided I wanted to work on the wood. So I started out by spraying, again, the Marabou Art Spray because it is acrylic, so you can work on top of it. And I thought it would add a nice kind of blotchy textured touch to the background that then I could build up over. Then I went in straight with the oil pastels. I am a big fan of just kind of creating my sketch with shapes and with colors versus lines. It just tends to work a little bit better for me. That means that a lot of times things go through a little bit of an awkward stage where, the anatomy isn't quite in the right place, but I tend to fix it, or at least as best as I can as I go. And that was kind of what I did with this, where I really started in a very loose manner and I began to build up and refine and move things and correct things over time. This is just a technique that works really well for me, and I really enjoyed working with these oil pastels because you could layer up so much. And as you can see, I am really working in layers, even more so than the previous image, to build up complex color and create those different distinctions. So I started by creating just like a base layer with the linseed oil, blending that out. And then I'm going back over with those oil pastels and adding in, like I said, more complex colors, adding in some of the blues in the shadows, adding in some more reds and pinks and yellows throughout the skin tone to create variance. And then I am using some of the linseed oil, but on the top layers, I'm using more of the smudging blending tools to blend that out. It works a little better when you're layering on top, eventually kind of switching to that stump, although I did kind of go back and forth. But I find that the stump helps preserve it a little bit more. You can get a little bit more clean, crisp lines. So it's definitely useful to use both of them and go back and forth and kind of see what works best for the specific technique and style that you're trying to use. But this was really pretty to build up on top of the wood panel board, the hard panel board, because it was definitely a really sturdy surface. So I didn't have to worry about destroying the fibers of the paper, which was really nice. Even though the paper that we got was super, super sturdy and I didn't have any issues, it really gives you a lot of freedom to just layer and layer and layer, and you don't have to worry as much. Then I went in with those China markers and I was able to add in a lot more detail, refine a lot more detail. I kind of moved around some of the positioning of the eyes. I adjusted the lips a little bit and really started to sharpen up those features and get things kind of where they should be. It was a good selection of colors. With the red, I was able to help with the lips and the kind of like under eye. Well, I don't know what that's called, your waterline, the waterline of your eye. And then the black and the white obviously really helped with adding those crisp details with the lines and with any highlights throughout the face. So Those layered really, really beautifully, despite the fact that I had put a huge amount of oil pastel and linseed oil on this. I was still able to layer the China markers on top with absolutely no issues, as you can see. And even the oil pastels, I was able to continue to layer up and build. And you can also use the little smudging tool to smudge the China markers as well. So all of these supplies worked really beautifully together, and I think I was able to create something really interesting, textural, but also delicate, and I'm very happy with how this piece came out overall. Oil pastels are not my natural supplies to use, so this was a challenge for me, but it was one that I really enjoyed. As with the last one, I used those China markers to add in those final crisp details. And then to finish it off, I decided to use some more of the spray and just give it a good spray and drip that down, because I thought that would look really cool. And because it was acrylic, I knew that it wouldn't damage the oil and would probably just kind of bead off the oil pastels. So that is the process of how I created these pieces with the August Paletteful Packs Premiere Pack. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you and showed you some different techniques that you can use with your pack. And I've been loving seeing all the artwork that everyone has made. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you'd like your own Paletteful packs, then definitely check out the link in the description box below. Have a great day. Bye.